How's it going, guys? I'm here with Duncan. I'm Finn, and we've been building some trails in the woods for a few months now, and with quarantine and everyone else kind of showcasing their trails on YouTube, I thought I'd do the same. So we're gonna start a YouTube series building trails. Today's just kind of gonna be like an overview of what we have going on, because we got a few trails already going. Like I said, we've been building these for a while. So I'll start at the top of the trails. This is kind of our peak where all the trails start. As you can see, we got a few different ways you can go down. Got like a base area right here. You start, there's that way down, and there's this way down. And further on down the trail, like both kind of split into all the different trails. So if we come down here, it's a kind of steep downhill little roller that we were building. And then from there, it splits into a few lines. We got a flatter trail. It's longer, it's really techy. That got built yesterday, actually. It's just kind of, we just raked it out a little bit. And over here we have a pretty techy line, and so we come down here, we got a weird feature. It's like a rock drop, a tiny rock drop, probably a couple feet, into another rock drop right across this trail, and then that keeps going down, and that snakes down all the way to the bottom into like a more swampy area. And then we have our main trail up here. If you were to go off to the right from the top, you come down to here. This is like kind of our main flowy trail. So you come down here into a roller, and then this like really long kind of, it's not even really a berm, but a little bit, just a berm all the way down this first double. And that keeps stretching along where we've been building these trails. So that's like our main trail, and that also splits off in a couple places. And you can also come down this trail. It's another tech trail. So more of like we call it the race trail because you can ride it really fast. And then finally, we have this other techie jump line sort of thing. Duncan's been building it, but it's pretty smooth to start off, and then there's this rock jump that leads into a techier section. You can still like blast through it though, and that goes into a berm, and I'll show you down there later. But down there we got a lot going on. So here's where this this main line kind of splits off. We have a rock jump right here, and actually you can either go straight off of the rock jump into this steep trail, or you can kind of come in and hip it, and down there there's a little berm and a drop that I'll show you later. Or you can, there's a bypass to this, you can go around this berm, and if we keep going down this main trail, here's a tiny lip that we made. You have so much speed you could just fly off of it. And the next features on this trail have taken a while to build, and they're not even finished. A couple months. Here's a big 30-foot berm. You can carry a ton of speed through this. And the reason I built that was because the next feature is the biggest feature yet. It is a 20-foot gap, maybe a little more than 20 feet. I'm not really sure, but depends where you land. Huge 20-foot gap, a really overkill takeoff. It does not need to be this big, but I built it this big anyway. This is kind of my line, and that's Duncan's line over there. I'll show you more of that later. But yeah, we got a huge takeoff. It's 9 feet long, about 5 feet wide, and 3 feet tall. So it took a lot of dirt. We hand build all these trails with shovels and rakes and all that. And then we got this unfinished landing. It's still kind of tiny, especially for the size of that takeoff, but that's getting finished. What I'm working on right now is, see, if you stand back here, when you go off this jump, it kind of leads you straight into that giant rock right there. So I'm in the middle of trying to get this rock out, and it's pretty big, so it's gonna take a lot of effort to get out. I might have to bring a car jack in here to take it out, and then from there it's weird because it's super swampy, so I'm not too sure where I'll go from there, but we'll figure that out along the way. So if you come back up to this rock jump, I said before that you can kind of hip it into this other trail, and it's kind of a rocky section, and from there it leads into a little berm, and then you could basically just fly down here. next comes a really fun drop. So it's kind of, it's nice because you can come in from really low and pop off right there with like no speed, or you could pop off from right here where all this dirt is. And then once you get comfortable, what Duncan and I do is we come in, and it might be hard to tell, but there's a dip right here, and so you can pop off right there, which makes it a pretty decent gap, maybe like almost 10 feet. It's really fun though. And then also over here, this is the bottom part of Duncan's line, so it comes down into a berm. Kind of a sketchy berm, especially when it's wet, because it's pretty soft, as you can see. Yeah, kind of is definitely an understatement. As you can tell, it's super soft. And then, but it gives you the speed you need. Take a couple cranks through here, and you can gap this trail, the main trail, with this little kicker that we built. And finally, we have Duncan's jump, and so it's a pretty steep jump that goes over this rock right here. The landing is not yet built, but hopefully soon.
So we're now at the other end of the trails. The big double's all the way down there, my jump's down there, and this is a techish kind of line. There's a rock roll. I'll go to the bottom. It's not too big, but it's decent. And you come down here, come around this off camber turn, go over all these rocks, pop off that root if you want to, and then just blast down this section, which can be a hell of a fun time. And then it goes into nothing. The big double's right there. So this is my other line. You pop off that rock, or kind of roll it, then pop off there and jump into this trail. It's pretty fun, kind of fast. Really sketchy in the wet though. If you go around these corners and slip, have a fun time. And down here doesn't look as steep, but it is kind of steep. Kind of go over those rocks right there, and then fly down here, kind of dodging all these trees and stuff. And then right here it's kind of a roller, and then the bottom are just those two rollers, and they're not really rollers, they're more like lumps. So yeah, that's that trail. So now back at the top. Now we're gonna go down the newest trail, which is kind of like a more flat at the beginning, kind of more made for just pedaling. And then once you're here, it kind of goes into more, I would say downhill, but it's not downhill obviously, not yet. Cut through all these bushes, go under this tree, go over these rocks. Then here's the kind of downhill part. Gotta go over this branch. I gotta move that. Then come down here, navigate that wet route, rock roll this, then you come down here. This is the tech trail, and then kind of gotta come up this off camber turn, get up that rock, pedal on over here. This was gonna be a drop, but there's too many rocks to clear out at the bottom, no tools. And then this trail kind of just goes into basically nothing again. And then we end up back at my jump. Finn wants me to show you the tools that we have, so that's what I'm gonna do. Finn has a saw in his hand. It's like a big old knife. Then behind this tree that no one knows where it is, got a sledgehammer, got a rake that's about to go, got another leaf rake that's about to, well, it's already snapped in half. Thanks, RJ. Digging shovel, packing shovel, another rake that's snapped in half. What, like 4 shovels? Not shovels, buckets. And then watering can that's levitating there. And that's the massive pit. Finn, how many bucket loads do you think came out of that pit?
A few hundred, at least.
Finn says a few hundred.
Yeah. It took a lot of time. And the funny, like, all of this dirt pretty much has gone into that takeoff and that landing over there. Other than that, it's been Duncan's jump, which is half composed of logs and rocks and stuff. Hey, that little takeoff over there.
You gotta use what you have.
Yeah, and that berm was completely made from, we dug it half into the ground and we took all that dirt and just put it on top. So none of that dirt actually came from over here. That was all from right over there. It's pretty hard to get dirt around here too, because like, if you look at this dirt, there's so many rocks in here. So like, you stick your shovel in, it hits one rock, it just stops. So we've been using the pickaxe.
What's the pickaxe?
It's down by the rock. We've been using the pickaxe to kind of loosen up the dirt, and then we'll shovel it, put it in a bucket, and bring it down to whatever we're building. So that's pretty much how we've been building stuff. And then we pack it as we go, finish it off with the packing shovel.
Alright, this is a run down my trail. Yo! We got this roller. Got the block holes. And then the fast part. Ooh, steep. Oh, I almost nailed that tree. Yeah, that ends abruptly. Alright, this is a run down the flat to top trail. You really gotta hope you don't slide out right there. Well, I went off the trail.
Oh. This is the main trail. Oh my god.
I haven't gone off that drop good in so long.
This is a run down the race trail.
Race course.
Race course, quote unquote. Alright, go.
Oh, I'm going?
Yeah. Drop. That trail's so fast.
Sorry for all the lawn mowers. People decided to mow their lawns on a day that's super wet. That's gonna not be smooth. That sounded very satisfying.
Alright, so that's gonna pretty much wrap it up for this episode. We wanted to kind of make an intro video since we already have all of these trails. But our next videos will be more trail building related and finishing up that big line over there. Duncan will be finishing his line and just making a bunch of new trails. I have some pretty exciting plans for some new jump lines. We're planning on making videos every week, hopefully. So yeah, see you in the next one.